Hello, welcome to Barefoot Bruisers. I'm your host, Satu Dave. Today, some jackass talks about the shit he did all week long. Yep, that's pretty much how I feel. Like a newscast kind of thing. I don't know why. Just gotta act goofy every now and then. Have a little fun. Y'all know how it is, right? Well, you could probably tell from the bench. A shit ton of grinding been done this week. So, as I mentioned last week, I had all those knives that Edgy American Edgy American Shane had sent in to grind. So there was 19 knives. I think I shipped them 6 on Monday that I got done, and then the rest were kind of like, progress. They're about an hour and a half a piece. So it took a very long time and pretty much most of my week to grind those knives, but they're all done. It was cool because I got to learn. I think that's the first time that I've ever total stock removal. Like most of the time what I do is like regrinds, and regrinds kind of confine you a little bit. And so I'm used to working in those confinements and not be able to do like certain things. Like you can't do a certain plunge because you're limited by either detent track or what's already ground there, that sort of thing. So they're kind of a different animal. I learned how to grind. Oh, my eyebrows are going crazy here. I learned how to grind basically, doing regrinds. So the stock removals have been a learning curve to figure out how to get the belts to last a long time and when to switch belts. So I went through quite a few belts. Matter of fact, I had an order. I just restocked, and they came in. It's like $500 worth of belts. So pretty substantial. I mean, I didn't use all $500 worth of belts from Shane's knife, but it was time to order them. But yeah, $500 worth of belts. So some people don't even buy $500 knives. I just had to buy $500 worth of belts to make knives or to modify knives. So the whole, regrinding and that sort of thing. I really do enjoy doing folders. Not so much on fixed blades. And this kind of reinforced it to me. I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed being able to help a friend out. I guess I did the same thing for Billy a while back. Those were regrinds, not stock removals. Well, this was completely stock removal. So it was a fun thing to do. I just don't want to be a business of doing that. If that makes sense, man. And me and Shane kind of already talked. Shane's like, yeah, this should be like kind of more of an exclusive thing. Not saying that that's all I'm ever going to do from him, but he definitely wants to progress and learn that step for himself. So hopefully he does do that, and hopefully he makes enough money on these knives that he can buy a grinder and start progressing and learning how to do that stuff. I think, some of us are limited by money with the amount of money we can stink into our tools. And that's it's a very limiting factor. And I hate to have the knowledge to do something or the skills to be able to do something, but needing that equipment. And then there's the other half of things where people like Donnie. And if you hadn't seen Donnie's Knife Junkie, definitely go check it out. When he does stuff, it's bare minimum. He just figured out how to do the best work he can with a minimal amount of tools. And I love his attitude. I want to do everything. I want to make screws and everything. So mad props to you, Donnie. I hope one day, I have the knowledge to do it. I don't know. I eventually will do that sort of thing. I probably even have the equipment to do it. I probably buy just a little bit more stuff. But eventually I think that, that's pretty much where I want to be too. I want to be able where I can make everything, except for maybe I don't want to make, obviously I'm not going to make Damascus or Damascus. I'm going to buy that shit, at least, for the foreseeable future. But that's definitely a goal. But you got to do stuff in steps, right? Super excited. My bro Steve and Kevin both coming up. The third annual, I believe it's the third annual time he's coming. I've already mentioned this. I don't know. I started the intro a couple times already, so I can't remember what I do. I feel a little goofy this morning. You know how that shit is. But I actually kind of want to, I guess, frame why I'm backing off the mods, and it's not or the regrinds too, because I really don't want to do a ton of regrinds either. Although that's fun to fill in, get home at 7 or 7:30, and you get an hour and a half before you're gonna, get ready for bed. I'm old, so 9 o'clock is probably, getting close. Not that I'm actually gonna go to sleep at 9, you know what I mean? I'm moving towards the bedroom at 9. I probably shouldn't have said that, but anyway, so every time I spend time working on you guys' knives, which I really would like to take everybody's knives that want to send me knives and modify them and everything else, that would be great. But every time I work on your knives, it takes time away from what I need to do to advance to getting the making thing going on. That's the biggest reason why I'm not really wanting to do the mods. I mean, I never really set off to be a modder. And I think there's other people that, like, when you first start doing it, it's a big curve because, you know, you want to take pride in your work to help that someone else gets their product, and, you know, they cherish their knife as much as you cherish yours. So, you know, you want to take that time and pride to work on everybody else's stuff. So, when you first start into that stuff, there's a lot of little things that you don't even take into consideration. It can be as much as how to pack it and ship it. Like, I figured out how to do mine FedEx, and it works for me. Other people might not have the same results. I know Billy has a ton of problems with FedEx from where his location is. Like, you know, every place is different, and I think there's a service that's better or worse for your area. You just have to figure out what works better for you. Now, going to the post office for me, I got to go all the way back pretty much where Jonas Edge lives and use that post office, or like there's an equal distance the other direction, but, you know, it's 25, 30 minutes away to the post office. Like, I ain't got that kind of time to go like that far just to mail something and then hope it gets there when they say it gets there. And, like, I know, but I had a couple scares this week with FedEx too, snow and all that whatnot. Like, sent a buddy a couple nights to check out. By the way, because Brendan's one of those ones that just reminded me. Knife's Edge, Brendan, they both try to help me with my logos. Neither one of them were 100% what I wanted, but the effort they put into it was like, thank you guys both for at least taking the time to play with logos for me. I'll get there eventually. Like, everything's like, I move so slow compared to some other people. Like, some other people like off and running, and they'll change the logo on the fly and that sort of thing. I just, like, I don't know, like, I still do this for fun, you know. Like, it's all, if it was for money, like, I wouldn't be able to afford the equipment that I have, because you don't make no money doing this stuff. That's kind of what I was alluding to with Shane's knife. Like, you know, like, I think he's charging $40 extra for the regrind, which is basically, you know, what the charge would be. So if I do that math all out, like, kind of like what Billy would do, like analyzing how much does it cost to make this knife, or how much did it cost to grind those knives, like, and equal the time put in it plus the amount of materials that went in it. You know, I guess you could go like electricity and stuff like that if you really wanted to get anal about it. But yeah, it's not a money making job. You know, if I did that many hours of actual, let's just say, because that's my former career, machining, if I was machining, even if I was machining for, I don't know, like something job shop wise, like, that's at least $20 an hour. And then the shop rates, you know, like the cheapest shop rate I know of is probably like at least 50. So you're talking about 70 to 75 bucks an hour for employee plus shop rate. And then not materials too. Like, yeah, it's a very losing, and that's why a lot of people don't make knives, because you got to have a passion for it. It's not about the money, right? That's really not. But you know, it's all a learning curve, and it's all fun, progression and stuff like that. Having talked about it for a second ago, I did send Billy my regrind number 2 that I showed y'all last week. And it came in soft. I kind of knew it was going to, but it's kind of weird because I saw a video from Greg Medford earlier this week, and I guess somebody had tried to like flame a knife. I don't know why anybody would think that was a good idea, but they flamed it. I guess it turned it into like a 57 Rockwell. And he was saying his standards for S45 are from 58 to 61. I thought that was a pretty big window. Like, you know, it was kind of interesting because I like through knife people, like our standards are always, we want the better, right? We're pushing for the better. So like a lot of people are like, it's got to be 60 or 61 or whatever your number is for S45. And it's kind of funny that a manufacturer that is trusted to do decent heat treats, you know, like says 58 to 61. So I guess it depends on how you use it. So I'm a half a point off from what his standard is. I personally don't feel like I want to put that one out in the world. Like, I think my standard should be like above that. Like, I think the 59 to 61 is kind of the more common standard, I guess. But I don't know. Like, I've never used one and knowing it was soft and then see what it does. Like, edge retention ain't my thing. Like, you know, like a lot of people were into different stuff. Like, especially go look at Ken Faulkner's video he did recently, like knife preferences. Like, I thought that was a great video. It's a long video, and I personally love the long videos because I do different things a lot of times when I listen to videos. And I think Knight's Edge and I are talking about that a couple times too. Like, you do another thing, you just listen, and you ain't got to watch me. Like, I'm not the most entertaining visually. I don't really show a whole lot, and my photography skills aren't exactly like up to par with most people's, but like, I'm cool with it. Like, y'all driving, you're working out. I know my bro Plethora says a lot of times he does cardio, listening to my dumbass getting through cardio at the gym. Whatever works for you, man. I just appreciate you checking in. Where was I going with that? I done lost my train of thought. Y'all see, that's one of those kind of mornings, man. Let's see. All right, so, like, just, I guess oh, yeah, that's what's going to go. So, from the soft heat treat point of view, I'm just going to try it and see what I get from it. I probably will end up rereading it, but I kind of looked, and I think I got 4 other blades, at least 3, that I definitely want to do those 3 first, and then I'll probably move from there. I have to get on top of the heat treat before I offer a reblade for service, and then I'm going to be very selective about who I reblade for and what I reblade. I know Shane was joking around about a PM2, like a super thick PM2, but I mean, I can't say that I won't do that, but that's definitely going to be on the back burner. Like, I'm into frame locks. Y'all know that. So, like, there's no point of me learning how to do a compression lock if I'm into frame locks. Like, I'm never going to make a compression lock. So, I got to be a little selfish in the fact that I got to do what is going to advance my skills. But I also got a buddy at work with, and he's been bugging me since before I even bought the grinder about making him a knife. Since I was a machinist when he started bugging me about it. I didn't even know shit really other about the making into things, which, you know, I think a lot of it kind of goes, you know, you can use a lot of the machining to kind of blend into knife making, but there's definitely knife making skills, and nobody's born knowing any of those skills. So it's a learning curve. Some people learn faster. I'm more of the school of hard knocks. I got to do it the wrong way before I can get it right. So I did the first heat treat wrong. So I will learn from here. I still think that might be 3V, and I got a little, Shane told me a little test I can do with a little stainless, try to see if it takes a certain bluing or not, which sounds like a great idea to me. So I'm gonna try a little bluing on it and see if it's actually a stainless or if it's 3V. So if I heat treated it wrong, my buddy T-Mac, which is the guy who helped heat treat the first sets of blades that we did, the fixed blade that, if I can figure out how to do this on video, that piece of crap right there that's hanging on the wall that was for Sharif's folder at a collab or whatever, and that first reblade that Evan has now. Anyway, he works for heat treating facility, and he said, yo, we can always anneal it and then reheat treat it. So I may hit him up for information and try to do that, but I gotta know what steel it is before I go doing that. I don't want to do it again wrong. It doesn't make any sense, right? But anyway, I think I'll make Kyle that little small fixed blade after seeing all all of Shane's little fixed blades. Like, it kind of sort of gave me a couple ideas of like how to make something small that somebody like that might like. Those things are not on my radar at all. Not that I like or dislike. I just don't personally use that sort of thing. Knife preferences, like Ken was saying. I just don't prefer that. I like the big stupid stuff that most people don't think is useful, that I find very useful, but I'm probably not doing the same task you're doing with yours. Let's see. So, like, you know, just do something a custom for him. Speaking of which, like, y'all know that this was a auction knife for McNeese for the Christmas charity, Carolina's Christmas, like I think is what he called, and it's got this come hell or high water on the back. This is 100% why I like customs over stock or productions, because I thought this was an exclusive. I assumed it was, right? I mean, but that's on me for assuming. He just re-released these, and he's gonna make this not with that logo on the back, but this part of that, you can buy one just like this now. Does that devalue this knife? To me, yeah, a little bit. It's kind of like the whole thing we were talking about with customs versus productions last week when I was talking about, or whatever week that was. I don't know. Just can't keep my own life straight. Where, you know, I like the exclusivity of having something that nobody else has. Like, it's just me. I've always liked to be on the outside of the outside. That's just kind of like my little thing. Like, I used to look for music that no one else heard of just because it was something that no one else heard of. Like, that's me. That's kind of my style. So now that you can go buy one of those, like, the other knife like that was already gifted away, the swerve or whatever he calls it, pattern in it. I got the first one, so I was the first one to buy that or get one of those. But after that, like, the floodgates are open, and same thing with that one now. So, like, the exclusivity that's gone. I mean, it still says something on the back that the other ones don't say, but, like, I don't really value that, I guess, the whole package was a value, I guess, like being completely different. And now that it's not, I'm like, it took something away from that. So I can almost guarantee you that knife's going to go somewhere else at some point, whether it's a gift or a trade or something like that. I may start doing something. I thought about it, like get like an old butcher block, put on the block, and then, you know, if you're interested in trade, sell, whatever thing, like you could just make offers on that kind of thing. But like, it seems like a lot of knives ain't moving yet, and they like the whole stainless of the economy is kind of like just slowed everything down. So buying, selling, and trading they all seem to slow down a little bit. Although I'll still do all all the above, probably more often than I should still. But y'all see something about that next week. So yeah. All right, let's see what else we got to talk about. I don't think anything. I think this is pretty much just a straight up ramble of 15, 20 minutes. I'm sure there's more I wanted to talk about, but you know what? I can't think of it, and it's too early in the morning for me really to give too much of a shit. I'm just having too much fun, right? So, I'll call it for this week. Y'all have a great week. Sorry you listened to nothing for 15 minutes, but hey, that's a Sawtooth Dave video, right? Yep. Barefoot Bruisers. Sawtooth Dave? You be decided.